All right, y'all, this is the Harpies in the Aeneid. This is book 3, lines 214 to 226, 8. It's the Harpies. This is just the first portion. The next video is going to cover the second part. This is just the original, like, run-in with the Harpies. All right, so remember, they're talking about we. This is Aeneas and his shipmates. That's the we. And then he's talking in first person. Aeneas is talking in first person. So I'm going to start with red. That seems appropriate. So no sadder monster. That's all nominative than these. Maybe no monster sadder than these, and not any more savage. I'm going to change to orange because this has 2 big subjects. Any more savage, like plague, pestilence, illness, and anger of the gods raised itself from the Stygian waves. That is a confusing opener. What it's saying is no more sad monster or no more like angry, intense sickness has ever come out of the Styx, right? So he's actually attributing all of these monsters to coming out of the underworld, which is fascinating and a whole thing. But he's saying basically nothing more sad or more savage than these Harpies has ever come out of the underworld. I'll read that to you again now that you kind of get the idea. So no monster sadder than those, and not any, I'm getting the not from here, any from Ula, and not any more savage illness, sickness, and anger of the gods, that's a genitive, of the gods, raised itself from the Stygian waves. This is like of the Styx, Styx is the nominative, but Stygis, that's the genitive, forgive me, y'all. That's the stem. That Stygi is the stem for the Styx. This is also, it's like American, Roman, Stygian, of the Styx. Yeah. And then we're starting a new sentence. So I'm switching colors for you. This is actually your subject right here is Volucrum. That's like the flying things, the flying birds. It can also be bugs sometimes, but these ones are birds. This is also, this whole sentence here, you'll notice up to fama does not have a verb. We're missing, I think, a habet. This line you'll also notice is so short. It's one of those unfinished lines. We talked briefly about how Virgil died while he was finishing up the Aeneid. So it has some of these unfinished lines. This is just one of them. I would imagine in all of my infinite wisdom, I hope you can hear the sarcasm, that there would have been some word for have in here. Because it's going to talk about everything that the Harpies have. This is really their description. So the flying birds have, there's no word for that. It should be in there somewhere. The faces of virgins, of young women, very foul bellies, it's like their underside is foul, hooked or curved hands, and mouths, I think standing in for faces here, that's a little synecdoche maybe, and faces always pallid, always pale from hunger. So they don't get to eat. They're always hungry. Poor birds. I shouldn't feel bad for them. They're terrifying, but they are always hungry. When having been carried to the port, we entered here. That's hook back at the beginning here. Oh, that was a really terrible box for you. So sorry. Here's your box around your verb. So when having been carried to the port, we entered here. Here is the island where the Harpies live. Behold, it's a little interjection. If I were Virgil, I would have put a comma here, but I shouldn't speak ill of Virgil. He's a wonderful author. I just want a comma. We see, so when we entered, we see, this is perfect in Trawimus, but Widemus is present. So when we entered, we see present. I think we're just slipping into that historical present to kind of draw you into the action. So we see happy herds of cows. This is really bovium, B-O-V-I-U-M for the genitive. We've skipped out a syllable, so that's a syncope. In the fields here and there. So we see happy herds of cows in the fields here and there. I think this is a super short example of an ekphrasis, but a super short example nonetheless. He's like getting ready to describe these horrible monsters. Takes this like little break to just tell us about the cows. I might even include this next line. I guess that's more of what they see. But they're just looking, right? Let me go back to pink. So sorry, I might include this whole 3 lines. So we see the happy cows and a herd of goats, a goat herd with no guardian throughout the grasses, meaning just like over those rolling hills. So again, it's 3 lines, just a little tiny ekphrasis. We rush them with iron. That is a weird way to say that they attack them, right? They rush them with iron. They run at them with their swords. They attack them. They got to eat, right? And we call the gods and Jupiter himself, Jove himself, into the part and the reward. I think that this is really 2 nouns where it should be a noun and adjective, like into this part of the reward, into this like partial reward. There's a figure in there. Then on the curved shore, we build up, there's another verb in there. We build up beds, couches. They're going to lay down to eat, right? This feels like a feast. They've just invited the gods. They're celebrating this sacrifice, right? So we build up beds, couches to recline on, and we feast. Here's another verb. This looks passive, but this is actually a deponent verb. That's why it is that mer passive ending, but it's deponent. And we feast on rich banquets. We feast on rich banquets. They've just had an easy kill, not too much hunt, sacrifice to the gods. This is a feast, it's a banquet. And this is where the harpies come. But the unexpected harpies, you'll notice, I don't know how to do this in English, but Virgil does a lovely job of delaying that word harpies so that if you're hearing it in English, if you're hearing it in Latin, what you hear is, but unexpectedly, in a horrific fall from the mountains, there are present harpies, right? He really delays who's here until the end. That's so clever. It's a clever use of that hyperbaton to spread out those words to make harpies kind of a surprise event. So, but the unexpected harpies in a horrific maybe, slide down from the mountains are present. And they shake, that's your second verb, I forgot one, sorry. They're present, they're there. They shake their wings in great noise, maybe with great noises, great clanging. Maybe I don't know how to make clanging plural, so I used noises, but that's where we get that word clang from. And they grab up, they snatch up our feasts, and they befoul. That is a great old word. Befoul, it means pollute. They befoul everything with their gross, yucky touch. Contactu here and immundo here go together with their yucky touch. That's where contact, touch. Then, and now we're going to get another ellipsis. There's an S missing. Then a horrible voice is amongst their odor, amongst the smell. Oh, gross. They're saying they smell bad. That's really gross. All right. That is it for this round.